But a lot of small business owners need to know, what does this mean for me? At 1863 Ventures, you support more than 3,000 Black and brown entrepreneurs across the country through your accelerated programs. How confident are these entrepreneurs about their businesses going into 2023, even with inflation? And are they concerned about possible recession?
Well, thank you for having me. And I think that there's two responses to that. I think the first thing is they are concerned. They're concerned because of the impact that it's going to have on their customers. But the reality is, when you talk about Black and brown businesses, they're used to being locked out of access to capital. They're used to having to spend more for things. And so they plan. And so I think we have seen a very high success rate amongst our entrepreneurs. In fact, 98% survive post-COVID. So I think for Black and brown entrepreneurs, they're consistently planning and always expecting the worst because nothing is guaranteed. The difference now is they've got to be mindful of their customers and what they can afford moving forward.
And in terms of preparing for possible recession, just preparing for 2023, many entrepreneurs, even those who've been in business for years, don't even really know how much it costs to run their business.
Yes.
How can they get a better picture of the numbers? Where should they start to get an accurate handle on cash flow?
So I think the first thing is plan. You know, your financial statements tell you a lot. And while I love technology, I think we've over-relied and assumed that everything can be solved by some app and pushing a button. But I think really sitting down and understanding what are the drivers of growth, talking to your customers, what do they like, what don't they like, and really planning. I think there's three things that all small businesses should be doing. First is just take a moment. Get grounded, get in the right mindset, and know that this too shall pass. The second thing is to be open. Be open to do things differently. Be open to know that something that worked 6 months ago may not work for the next 6 months, and not be afraid of change. And the third thing is be laser focused on watching your financials. Whether they're red or green, it doesn't matter. It's the holiday season. But understand, what are they telling you about where your customers are buying? How often are they coming back? Where else are they searching and looking for information? What sites are they getting to you? What is the feedback that you've gotten, and how do you begin to implement that? Because keeping your customers engaged and happy is going to be the greatest gift you can give to yourself this holiday season to make sure the revenue keeps coming in.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that Neela was talking about in terms of our economy is where household debt is right now and how consumer debt is relatively low. But for small business owners, many of whom have started their business on credit, what is the outlook there for them? Because a lot of the credit they were looking to get and the lending that they had access to in 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic has gone away. So now, what actions should they be taking to make sure they get the financing for their businesses that they need?
We say cash is queen or king, depending on who the entrepreneur is. And so I think the first thing is really getting a handle on your prices. You know, we work with entrepreneurs all across the globe, and certainly all throughout various sectors. And in the spirits business, we found that the cost of glass has gone up. And so they've had to really rethink that. So I think the first is really get a handle on your cost and assess if your prices are right. Because if you're able to at least cover your costs, then you're not dipping into your pocket to pay more. The second thing is, if you do have a lot of debt, think about consolidation. Think about negotiating a repayment plan, making sure that you're staying on top of that. The one thing I would say don't do is don't go dip into your personal savings and borrow against your house.
Speaking my language, Melissa.
Please really make sure that your business can stand on its own. One of the challenges in this whole bootstrap mentality that we have is that you're going to make it as long as you can. You're going to fake it till you make it, as they say. The reality is, make sure that you don't bring your personal life down as your business goes on that roller coaster, and just really stay focused on the numbers and know that some months are going to be high, some months are going to be low. And when you do have any extra cash, think about where can you invest it? Where can you put in the business? Where can you begin to make changes? You know, we live in a world of contractors and 1099, which are absolutely wonderful, except in times of uncertainty, what you don't want to do at the end of the month is say, oh my gosh, look at all this money. So where can you move some of those variable costs that are hard to predict to become fixed costs that you are laser focused on making sure you're generating enough money so you don't have a deficit at the end?